I've been living in Malibu coming here for like 35 years. We've had a house here for over 20 years. And I've seen over that 35 years how this small community of only 13,000 people, this wonderful beachside community, has gotten overrun with development. And we're frightened that, as the sewer system comes in, there's a chance for serious overdevelopment to the point where this place becomes unlivable. And to give you kind of a sense of what I'm talking about, if people know the Malibu area, they know that the Ralph's, which used to be the Colony Market many years ago, is now the Ralph's Market, and that whole development there is about 100,000 square feet. Well, in the Civic Center alone, there's 1 million square feet that is left undeveloped that could be developed. That's 10 of those Ralph districts. So what we're trying to do with Measure R is very simple. It's basically saying to the voters, if you vote yes for Measure R, you will have the right to weigh in on any new development over 20,000 square feet. If there's a new development, it has to be put in front of the voters for approval. That gives the voters and the people who live in Malibu an opportunity to have a say over how their community looks and feels. Voting yes on Measure R, as I said, gives the power to the citizens of Malibu, to the people who live in Malibu. It gives them the power to have some control over the future of their community. Voting no would take away that power and would basically allow the developers to basically do whatever they want in those open spaces. There is almost an exact measure that was done in Del Mar, which is another seaside community, and they passed an initiative that basically does the same thing as ours does, except it says any development over 11,500 square feet should be put in front of the voters. Now, that's a smaller community than ours, but it's essentially the exact same thing. Now, here's an odd thing about this. This is not the first time that something like this has passed in Malibu. A number of years ago, there were two initiatives put on a ballot. One was Measure P and one was Measure N. Measure P basically said that any development over 25,000 square feet had to be put in front of the voters, just like this one, and it passed. Then there was Measure N, and in Measure N, it said any development over 30 acres had to be put in front of the voters, and that also passed. However, in Measure N, there was a clause that said whichever one of these two gets the most votes, that's the one that stands and the other one gets knocked out. So Measure N got more votes, and so on the books right now is a measure about giving the voters the right to approve development. When you look at what we have in the Civic Center area, particularly you look at the lumber yard. That was a city-run. It was owned by the city, that property, and they developed that. That now sits with 60% chain stores. So that was the city council and the city doing that. Then you look at the other developments. You've got Malibu Village, you've got the Malibu Country Mart. All of them are now over 30,000, 30% chain stores. So they've already overdeveloped this area. And if anybody who lives in this area knows, the traffic on the PCH and in the Civic Center is almost impossible to move. So the idea of developing possibly another 1 million square feet of land and adding to that kind of traffic, it would basically make Malibu uninhabitable and a way of life that I don't think anybody would appreciate. If Measure R fails, that's pretty much the last chance that Malibu citizens have to weigh in on having a say over their community. So this really is the last chance. There is a sewer system that will be coming in a couple of years. Once that happens, all bets are off and all this open space will start to be developed. So essentially, this is the last opportunity for Malibu residents to have a say over their community.